It's like not been a long time. I literally last spoke to you, I last vlogged like 3 days ago, so it's like it hasn't been long, but it feels like it's been long because it's been a while since I've been able to talk to you about my books. And when I say a while, I really mean like a week. I read one book without you guys, and when I tell you, I felt so incomplete. I was sitting on the floor, rolling around on the floor, rolling around on my bed, reacting to these books, and I had no one to share it with because I wasn't vlogging. And I was like, okay, like this just does not work. So now I just need to take any excuse to pull out the camera and record whenever I want to read a book. And I need to read this book that I'm planning on reading this week. So we're just gonna make a reading vlog. That's what we're doing. Okay, today is Monday. It is the beginning of the week. And I was trying to think what fun little challenge I wanted to do for this week. As you know, I started back school, which means I don't have an infinite amount of time to just be reading. Like I have homework assignments to do. Not too much because it's just like my second week of school. So luckily there's nothing too intense, but I do have assignments to do. I do have to go to class 3 days out of the week. Originally, I wanted to do trying to read 200 pages every single day. And I still think at some point in time I want to film that video, but I actually don't know how many books is like my reading speed. Like I don't know how many books I read per, how many pages I read. Did I say reading 200 books? If I said reading 200 books, I meant reading 200 pages. I don't know how many pages I realistically read in an hour. I looked up and they said the average time that it takes someone to read 100 pages is like 2.8 hours. And I feel like it's probably like double that for me because I feel like I'm pretty slow, but I also feel like I might be getting faster. Like I feel like it's a tool that I'm kind of working out. Instead of doing that, I saw a lot of people on YouTube like Haley Fam, all the booktube girlies doing the swapping my screen time for my reading time for a full week. I felt like this would be a good vibe because not only will it give me like a time frame and a challenge to make sure I'm prioritizing reading for the week, but also it's a way to get me off of my phone. The way I'm gonna do it is I'm gonna go specifically by each day because my average screen time for the entire week was 6 hours and 6 minutes. But I believe I wanna do it the amount of screen time that it was each day because it really varies. Monday, which is today, was not the highest, but like one of the highest, 6 hours and 47 minutes, which means I need to read 6 hours and 47 minutes today. And it is already 12:30. So it's like, it's not looking too good for me, but like I'm gonna get it done. I'm gonna push myself, I'm gonna get it done. I do need to go out really quick and run some errands. I need to return some stuff from like Urban Outfitters and Abercrombie, and then I'll come right back home, read. I do have to do homework assignment. Wait, am I setting myself up for failure? We're gonna try our best because like I don't want to be up too late because my class is at 9 a.m. tomorrow, so I have to be at school for 9 and I want to make sure like I have a decent amount of sleep. Tuesday, 7 hours and 10 minutes. Wednesday was 5 hours and 47 minutes, which freaking sucks because Wednesday is my day off from school. So I would have hoped that my most time would have been like Wednesday. That way I could just stay at home and just read. Thursday, 6 hours and 47 minutes as well. And then Friday, which isn't really surprising, Friday is my least. Friday was 2 hours and 34 minutes. Let me tell you what I'm reading before we head out because I will be starting it on the train. If you guys watched my last reading vlog, which was the 24-hour reading vlog, you know that I found my newest obsession. In that vlog, I read this book, which is Mile High, hockey romance, rated it 5 stars. Was addicted. This book is in an interconnected series called the Windy City series, which basically is a bunch of romance books that take place in Chicago and they all follow celebrity sports players and their romances. The second book I read was The Right Move, which is the second book in the series, and I read this one without you guys. And it was one of the biggest like regrets of my life because I had a visceral reaction to this book, but the reactions I had to this book, I recorded some of them, but it wasn't even the height of it. Like I was sitting in here silently screaming, punching the air, kicking my feet, giggling. This book, phenomenal. I will give you my review on this one at the end of this video. Now I'm on to the third one. The third one is called Caught Up, a Major League Baseball romance following Kai Rhodes, and those tropes are going to be, I think, single dad and nanny. Like that's the plot line, and I've never read anything like along the lines of that plot line. I just love this series so much that I feel like I'm gonna vibe with it regardless. I have been converted into a sports romance girly. This is such a turn of events because I used to think, like 2 weeks ago or 3 weeks ago, I used to think that I could not read romance. I used to think that I couldn't stand it. Come to find out, I was just reading the wrong ones. Come to find out, all I needed was Wattpad-esque romance with celebrity hockey players, basketball players, and just a whole lot of messiness and toxicity. I've been back for a little while because I had to make kind of a snack. It's not breakfast. It's about to be 4 o'clock. It's not breakfast, but I just needed a snack to tide me over because I'm like, it's too close to when I could potentially eat dinner. My timer says I've been reading for 1 hour and 3 minutes. I was reading on the train while waiting for the train, and then a little bit while I was waiting for my food to come. I'm a little bit nervous because I'm like, I still have 5 hours left. Well, technically 5 hours and 47 minutes. So I'm like, I just really don't want to be like up really late and then I ruin my sleep schedule and then I'm tired going to class. But I'm like, when someone gives me a challenge or when I set a challenge for myself, it's I really stick to that challenge. So if I need to stay up, I just need to stay up. I am within the 3rd chapter of the book, 22 pages in, liking it so far. I mean, as much as you can like a book within 22 pages. I didn't realize, so the trope is, like I said, single dad, nanny, and then the girl is the coach's daughter is also the other trope, which I'm like, I think these are gonna be some exciting, fun time little tropes. It's also a slight age gap, but like not a nauseating age gap, because age gaps rub me I don't know, like it's hard for me to get into those. But she's 25 and he is 32, which isn't so crazy. I guess it's not so crazy. What do I know? I'm just a girl. I'm only 21. I forgot to, before I left, to fan cast who are these characters. I don't really need to fan cast the girl because they're just saying that she's a white woman with brown hair. She's a white woman with brown hair and green eyes. That's kind of easy enough for me to picture. Like, I don't really need to find a fan cast. It's not as exciting finding female fan cast. But for the man, for Mr. 𝐿 I was like, okay, I need a fan cast for him. And I'm like, the girls on TikTok were giving Henry Cavill. And I think I'm gonna go with that. Mr. 𝐿 Can we focus? Focus on Mr. Henry Cavill. This will be Mr. 𝐿 in my brain. Okay, because we know my brain can't actually picture what these people are supposed to look like. This seems good enough. Okay, focus. Yeah, we can work with that. Each book comes with like a Spotify playlist that Liz Tom Ford puts together. So now I can put that on. I have my speaker. Okay, the official Liz Tom Ford Caught Up playlist, and of course it starts with Caught Up by Usher. To hit the 3-hour mark and it's about to be 6 o'clock. I moved to my bed, which is kind of like not the best because my brain wants to take a nap, partly because I stayed up last night watching Little Women for the first time, not knowing it was a 2-hour and 15-minute movie. 2 hours and 15 minutes. So I was up till like 2 a.m. But update on the book, I'm 70 pages in. Okay. The banter is bantering. I haven't started kicking my feet and giggling yet, but the banter is bantering, and I can see that Kai has potential. Nothing has come out yet, but I feel like he has some potential to really get things going further into the book. The one thing I could say about the Windy City series is that the main women characters don't annoy me, and I think that's very big for romance books, because I tend to sometimes in romance books especially, the women characters just come across so pick me, choose me, love me. I'm not like most girls, and it, you know what I'm saying? Like, I thought we were over that. Like, I thought that was a 2012 thing. Like, why are we still doing that? You know what I'm saying? But in this one, they're just regular, and they're not doing too much. Like, I feel like the attention of the Windy City series is very much on the men and the men's trauma, but also a little bit of the women's trauma, but like mainly like the men's trauma, which I enjoy, because I'm like, it just gives me a different perspective. You know what I'm saying? The fact that I've switched into like 3 different hoodies all in the span of like 4 hours is really comical to me. But my screen time for the day is basically over. 6:42 is the timer. My screen time technically was 6:47, but I just finished a chapter and I'm like, it makes no sense to start in a new chapter. You know what I'm saying? Like, when I realistically only have 5 minutes left in the timer for today. So I'm gonna say that this was an accomplished moment. I'm gonna say I accomplished today. But I got to chapter 20. I'm 39% through. My thoughts so far is that I'm enjoying it. It's definitely not as much as like a visceral reaction as I was to The Right Move, or even Mile High a little bit, but really The Right Move. Like, the stuff that Ryan Shea was doing 50 pages into The Right Move was just like, I had to go back and look at my highlights to know if I was crazy. Did this happen like after the halfway mark? Like, was Ryan Shea like just, you know what I'm saying? But no, like, he was feral from page like 50. So this one, like, it's not like a slow burn, but it's just like Kai isn't as feral, in my opinion, as Ryan Shea. I enjoy feral. I enjoy feral, caveman, possessive in the book. And Kai isn't fully there, so I'm like, but I'm enjoying it because I'm actually enjoying just like the storylines of it all. You know what I'm saying? Like, the main character, I'm enjoying Miller, the female character's storyline with like her career, and then I'm of course enjoying the baby and that whole vibe. So like, it's going good. I don't know. I can't anticipate what I'm going to rate this yet. Like, it's not like The Right Move and Mile High where I like knew immediately from page 100. I was like 5 star. 5 star. Like, if you got me losing my breath this expeditiously, 5 star. But I don't know. I don't know about this yet. I'm going to hop in the shower real quick. I have to do my homework assignment for Principles of Marketing, which hopefully I have to read a chapter from my textbook and then answer like 5 questions. And I don't think it'll be too bad. So I'm going to do that, and then I'm going to head to bed. Hopefully, I will be in bed no later than 12:30, which gives me an hour and a half-ish to do my homework. So let me get going. I mentally am struggling to speak right now, so just bear with me. Currently 11:19. I just finished the extra 30 minutes left over from yesterday's screen time, so I finally got the timer to 7 hours and 10 minutes because basically what happened yesterday, I had classes yesterday from 9:30 to 3:30, and then I had like a 2-hour break in between. So I went to the library for those 2 hours and I read, so I got those 2 hours done. And then when I got home, I read as well, but it was just a little different because like I had to cook dinner last night, so that took like, I don't know, I would say like an hour. And then I did fall victim to my screen time. I did fall victim to my phone, and I went on my phone last night, but it's like I find myself slipping up in those moments in between doing actions. So like in between my shower, like normally when I warm up my shower, like I just pick up my phone mindlessly and just happen to open up the TikTok app. And tell me why yesterday my screen time was 5 hours and 42 minutes, which I'm so confused by. Because if I was reading for basically like 6 hours and 40 minutes and my screen time was still 5 hours and 42 minutes, I'm just really confused. I'm just really confused. TikTok was apparently an hour and 36 minutes of that, which is baffling because it doesn't feel like that. Like it never feels like that. My biggest screen time issue is always TikTok. The previous week, the reason that I had to read 7 hours and 10 minutes yesterday was because on Tuesday, January 23rd, I was on TikTok for 3 hours and 35 minutes. Which I'm like, what is there to be doing on there? Like, what is there realistically to be doing on there? And I hate it because like I never feel like good after going on TikTok. Like my brain always just feels like jumbled with like a bunch of stuff that I didn't necessarily like need to know or like need to see at any point in time in my life. So I'm just like, it leaves my brain feeling very unfulfilled, yet I'm on it for 3 hours and 35 minutes. And then yesterday, like I said, I was on it for an hour and 36 minutes. So, you know, didn't do too well, but I decided to finish off the last of the 30 minutes this morning because I was trying to finish it last night and I was just really tired and I didn't want to like read the book while I was tired because then I tend to like forget things. It's hard for me to like wake up and first thing in the morning open up a fiction book because for some reason it feels like I'm watching TV. Like I don't know, like it feels like I would wake up at like 9 a.m. and then just like start watching TV, which is like it feels weird for my brain. It's hard for me to do fiction first thing in the morning. So I did my nonfiction book. My nonfiction books really take me like probably like months to finish. I'm only 74 pages into this book. I accidentally went too far back and I went to January 17th, so like 2 weeks back. And why was my screen time for Wednesday, January 17th, 9 hours and 45 minutes? I spent 5 hours and 56 minutes on TikTok that day. That actually makes my heart hurt. Okay, back to the regular week that we're doing, okay? Thankfully, I didn't choose that week to do. Today, I have to do 5 hours and 47 minutes, which isn't too bad, which is good because today's my day off, but I do have like homework assignments to do. I think I'm gonna start reading first, bang out the 5 hours and 47 minutes, because if I do that and I start it by 12, that means I'll be done reading by like 6. That's really wishful thinking, because that would mean I would have to read entirely straight with no food breaks, which could be possible, but I don't know, it's sounding a little bit intense. So we might have to take a break in between there to do my homework, but I have to do a screenwriting assignment. I have a principles of marketing assignment again. I have to read the textbook and answer the questions. That'll be easy enough, but it's still like a task to do. And then, oh, do I have a Black History assignment? I don't think I have a Black History assignment, so that might be all of my assignments. I'm definitely gonna finish caught up today. I'm 76% in. I have 8 chapters left. procrastination over. It's time to get down to it. I need to pick my playlist because I've developed a little habit that now it's like I feel like I read a lot faster and better while listening to music. I listen to so much stuff in rotation, I don't know what I'm fixing for. When I put on the actual like Liz Tom Ford official playlist, it was more country vibe, and I don't know if I was really feeling that. I don't know if I was really feeling that. Normally I like to listen to some like R&B to get me in like the romance mood, but I'm like, it's too early in the morning for R&B for me. It's too early. Like it's 12:30. It's too early. So I'll probably do pop. I like me some Sabrina Carpenter. I've been really enjoying Renee Rapp, of course, my queen. I mean, obviously Olivia Rodrigo. I keep forgetting. I was trying to contemplate whether or not I wanted to buy tickets to see Olivia Rodrigo because she's coming to New York in, I believe, May. And I was thinking I wanted to buy a ticket. That has nothing to do with anything. So, I don't know.
Connected to 𝐕𝐈.
Thank you. Oh wow, One Direction to start out? Chapter, and I don't know if this is just me, but I need to curate certain scenes to certain songs. Like I just need a certain song in the back, and the scene that is currently happening is requiring Fine Line by Harry Styles. Like I'm seeing it in my brain, I'm seeing it play out, and I need Fine Line in the background. So I just had to take a moment to switch. This is by far my favorite Harry Styles song of all time. Like I don't know much about Harry, but this right here, crack. I have to change my Walking Down the Aisle song to Fine Line by Harry Styles, because the way every time I hear that song, it itches a part of my brain that just makes me sob, but also picture the most beautiful things possible in the world. 1,000,000 butterflies being born, 15,000 roses. Like I'm just like, it's so beautiful and so sad at the same time. I'm like, it might have to be the wedding song. We're back in the bed. I tried to change locations, but this is just where the best reading gets done, where the best discussions gets done. I also washed this hoodie just to put it back on. I need to get another hoodie like this because y'all are gonna think that I just, well, I was gonna say y'all are gonna think that I'm just wear the same thing over and over again, but like, you can think that because I do, but just don't think that it's dirty because I just washed it today. Okay, it just came out the dryer. I've accomplished 3 hours and 26 minutes for today, meaning I have like an hour and a half-ish left. I literally just went on Amazon and bought the paperback to Caught Up. This series, I'm not even gonna get into that first. We're just gonna start with my rating for Caught Up. I thoroughly enjoyed Caught Up. There was not a moment reading Caught Up that I disliked it. There was not a moment that I felt was too slow, that I felt was unnecessary, that I felt like, nah, like don't want this. I thoroughly enjoyed each moment of it. It just wasn't as feral as I was for these books. And I feel like that's because Kai is the guy in Caught Up, our male main character. And he's just much more tame in my eyes. Like, he's much more like low-key, mature, not sophisticated, but just mature. And he's an extremely good communicator. He communicates what he wants. Like, there's, you know what I'm saying? So it's like, there was angst, but it didn't feel as angsty because he was just so mature. You know, like, if he wanted something, he would communicate it. And I was like, okay, like, no, this is great for, like, real life. Like, Kai is one of the book boyfriends where, like, we say we want these book boyfriends to be our actual boyfriends, but, like, there's some of them where I'm like, okay, like, this might come with a little bit of toxicity. Like, this might come with too much. But Kai is a perfect example of a book boyfriend you would actually want as your boyfriend. He's the perfect amount of, like, regular feral, but also mature, secure in his emotions, secure in himself, minding his business. Like, he's just calm vibes. I'm going to rate Caught Up, I believe, I'm gonna give it a 4.5 stars. Like, I have nothing to complain about. It just did not make me want to vomit out, like, my insides, because I'm just, like, don't know what to do. The vibes of this book was just cute. It was cute, it was wholesome, it was sweet. I do think out of all of the 3 book boyfriends so far, out of the 3 in the Wendy series so far, 𝐿 had the best love confession out of all of them. The reason that you guys saw me sobbing was because of the love confession. That love confession really did something to me. Like, just something about him just vocalizing. Everything he wants, everything he needs, in the way that he does it is just so mature that it's just like, hold on, like, let me breathe. Just let me breathe, okay? Just calm down. The reason that also I think for people reading this Caught Up as a standalone versus reading it within the whole series, the reason that, like, I was so enthralled also for, like, some of the slower bits was because our other characters were also heavily within this book, and we got, like, lots of bits and pieces, and also lots of major moments for our other characters within this book. That part where I was crying to Fine Line was like an Indian Ryan moment. If you've read Caught Up, you know. But I was sobbing because there's something that I didn't appreciate about interconnected romance series. Like, obviously, like, you have a good fantasy series and you get to watch characters grow. You get to have that found family, and, you know, it just makes everything that happens in the book so much deeper because of the family that's grown and that you've watched grow. And I never really, like, you know, expected to feel that for romances, but interconnected series might be my thing. They might be my thing because the found family in this has me just bawling. And also I would like to preface that I'm overly dramatic and I'm very emotional. So I cry for anything. Okay, I, like, will literally cry for, like, a commercial, for, like, a dog commercial. So, like, please do not expect to cry, like, on a regular, like, how much I cry, because I'm just, like, a little bit insane. I love the epilogues of the book when we get to see, like, just the cute little family. And I think it's cute because it's, like, it really feels like escapism, because I'm, like, escaping into this idealistic, beautiful romance world where these people have made this family. And also, like, there's something that was, like, easing to my spirit about reading these books where they're all, like, you know, above 25. In Caught Up, our main character is 25 turning 26. So, you know, they're all older, in their later 20s, like, some in their 30s. And they're only now finding their found family. Like, only now are they finding their next lifelong friends and, you know, their bridesmaids and groomsmen and all of that stuff. And I'm like, it's just, like, really a comforting feeling. For someone that hasn't found their, like, lifelong, like, groomsmen, bridesmaids type-esque, like, knowing, at least from the fictional book, that, like, you know, it could happen when I'm, like, 27, 28, like, these characters, brings me peace. Obviously, you know, I don't know if it's obvious, my rating for this, 5-star. This was a 5-star read. Ryan Taylor Shea is so unhinged that I did not know how to speak. Everything that he was doing from, like, the start of the book was just, like, I don't even, like, from page 50, this man was feral. From page 50. Like, I was literally just going back highlighted annotations, and for Caught Up, I had like a few, and then for Mile High, I had like a few as well. But for The Right Move, annotations on annotations on I have so many, just because every page, this man was doing something baffling. This man was doing something so baffling. His love language is every love language under the sun. Acts of service is definitely his fave, because he'd just be acting and servicing. Servicing. When he would do these things, I would just be like, Ryan Shea is a perfect example of a caveman jealousy. And I love over jealousy in fiction and books. Like, yes, it could get annoying in real life, and like if that's your real boyfriend, he's like super jealous. Like, you can't even step outside, he's so jealous. But like, when Ryan Shea does it, it just hits. It just hits. It just hits. It just hits. I don't even know how to describe it. So this 10 out of 10. I don't know why the rating just jumped to a 10, but 10 out of 10. 10 out of 10 as well. And then Caught Up, 9 out of 10. This book has been sitting on my shelf for almost over a year, and I haven't even given it a second thought. I thought it was just gonna be like a throwaway book that I wasn't gonna enjoy. Come to find out, this series changed my whole perspective on romance books, and like made me realize that I've just been reading the wrong romance books. And I'm like, this one's still like, it feels like so long ago that I read this, and it's literally been 2 weeks. Like, it feels like so long ago that I was meeting 𝐤𝐵_Xanders for the first time, and I keep seeing so much 𝐤𝐵_Xander slander. So much 𝐤𝐵_Xander slander, and I just can't deal with it. Ryan is my favorite, okay, because he's a feral caveman, but Evan has my heart. Evan has my heart because he's just, you know what I'm saying? Like, he's tortured, he's damaged, he's broken, but like arrogant, he's an asshole. Oh, it's just so good. How I would describe the books and the vibes and the book boyfriends. 𝐤𝐵_Xander's hot. 𝐤𝐵_Xander's hot. Ryan Taylor Shea, feral. Word of the day, feral. Kai Rhodes, cute. Adorable. Cute, adorable. Liz Tom Ford announced the full lineup for like all the books. There's gonna be 5 of them, so there's 2 more left. And the next one comes out in July? Sometime in July. I think mid-July. But then she solidified and she like confirmed that the final book, book 5 of the Windy City series, is gonna be Rio's book. And if you've read them, okay, Rio pops up in like every single book. Rio is a reoccurring character. Okay, he's been there since the beginning, and we've just seen him be so single and so alone. And he's also giving golden retriever, just like childish, needs to grow up. And I love books like that. Like, I know a lot of people don't like a childish-esque boy, like playboy, you know, sleeping around, turned into like a loyal saint type book, but I love those. Okay, I love those. I love when a guy goes from like sleeping with every woman he could find and like a complete playboy to like the second he sees the girl that he wants, he like switches his entire world. Like, I know it's not like the most realistic thing, but it's fiction, babes, and like that's my favorite trope. I do highly suggest it, but I only suggest it if you guys go into this knowing that this is Wattpad. Mile High was literally published on Wattpad before it was traditionally published. So if you would like to go back in time to when you were 12, 13, hopping on your computer, reading, you know, just like raunchy Wattpad books that weren't like the most extremely good writing, but like the plot was just wildly entertaining. I'm realistically like picturing myself in it because it reminds me of those Wattpad books where it's in the second person perspective, and it's like the writer is like, you walk into the cafe and he looks into your eyes. He looks you up and down, tracing your body with his pupils. And it's like, you know, you're putting yourself in it. That was me this whole time. I was reliving my Wattpad era, especially because they're all the guys are like celebrity athletes. I'm like, don't tell me with a good time. Like, you're trying to just show, like, you're trying to just show me my dream of being like a wag. Does wag encompass every sport? Isn't it wife and girlfriend? Yeah, I think it encompasses most sports. But like, you know, if you want to live out your wag dream, I highly suggest these books, especially this one. This one is such a wag dream. So just go into it with that mindset. This is Wattpad, okay? Don't expect amazing writing. Don't expect, like, you can expect some like interestingly kind of cringy dialogue, but you can expect some hot men. Okay, some really hot, good male characters. One thing Liz does well is write a really hot male character. With the rest of my time, because like I said, I still have 2 hours left. I need to start a new book, but before I do that, I do need to like do my homework a little bit. It's already so late now. Decided on the next book that I am going to read. I was going back and forth because, y'all, I'm really just in my romance vibe. Like, I'm a changed woman. I'm a changed gal. Obviously, like, fantasy is still my love. It's still my heart, but I'm just not in the mood for it right now. I don't know if it's because I'm, like, starting school and, like, I can't conceptualize thinking about world building right now and, like, building an entire world. Like, I just can't think about that right now. The knowledge of just, like, a sweet, fun romance, easy vibe, easy to understand, get a little giggle is just like still enticing me. And I don't know, I might have romance burnout pretty soon, but right now it hasn't come because I also now have a list of romance books that need to be get to. Let me tell you them real quick first. Magnolia Parks. Okay, because after reading this, after reading the Windy City series and reading like Rich Men, I'm like, I love the rich men vibe. I love the rich men. And hearing the synopsis of Magnolia Parks, a lot of people equate it to Gossip Girl, but in London, which, like, first of all, love London. Love London. Second of all, I didn't like Gossip Girl as a show, but I love the toxicity of Gossip Girl, and everybody says it's like toxic love, like very messy, and I'm like, oh girl, yeah, I could do that. I could do that. So Magnolia Parks, high on my list. The Off-Campus series, which starts with The Deal, and that one is about, I think they're all hockey players, but that one's like a hockey romance, college hockey romance. Heard great things about that one too. What is it? The Off-Campus series, Magnolia Parks. Oh, The Boys of Tommen. The Boys of Tommen series. I don't know. The first book is Binding 13. Okay. The way it's really between Magnolia Parks and Binding 13 being like my next read after this read that I'm about to show you, because the way that I've heard people talk about Binding 13, and originally when I first saw Binding 13 like months ago in people's like wrap up, I thought it was like some weird, like extremely adult, just like smut filled book, just based on the way that the cover looks. The cover looks like one of those just like weird, it just doesn't look like a cool vibe. You know what I'm saying? Like, it doesn't look like a cool vibe. But based on the blurb of The Boys in Tommen and Binding 13, it's like rugby romance, but it's supposed to be like really like, not like super dark, but I don't know, like the girls just say it's good. So like, I want to give that a try for sure. But that one's really long too. I don't know, it's really between those two that might be my next reads. But who knows, after this romance book, I might have my fatigue and I might need to go back to fantasy. This is the next book that I'm going to read. Hopefully I can finish it within this video. I think I can. I'll probably have to finish it on Saturday, and I wasn't really planning to do my timer on Saturday, so I might just like, I don't know, I'll figure it out. This is Yours Truly by Abby Jimenez. This is my book of the month copy that I got a while back, and I've just never thought twice about this book. This book is also in an interconnected series, and the first book I believe is called Part of Your World, but as I'm literally just saying I love interconnected romance series now, I actually really don't feel like reading that first one because like I don't even know what it's about, and I feel like this one I probably don't have to read the first one. I probably don't have to read the other one to read this one because like everybody has just been reading this one, and this has been like at the top of so many people's TV. Not at the top. This has been like a highly rated book for so many people. And I just keep seeing so many TikToks and TikToks and TikToks about it. I think we're gonna do this one. This one's like, they're doctors. I know the guy has anxiety. Like, that's what I keep seeing a lot of people talk about. It's also dual POV, and I realized the dual POV is really what gets me. Like, it's gonna be so hard for me to go back to a romance book that is singular point of view because I'm like, what is he thinking? Like, I need to be in his head. Like, I don't want you guessing what he's thinking. Like, I would like to know what he's thinking for myself. Okay, just put me in his brain. Just give me his POV. off Friday kind of feeling like an utter failure, but like not completely. Like I have to give myself grace, but also like I said, I'm hard on myself with challenges, and I get very competitive with myself, and I like need to complete my challenges. And right now I'm not completing it. As you saw, yesterday just was not the day. I was utterly exhausted, and I was kind of like, I don't know why, but at the same time I do know, because I just haven't been prioritizing taking as much time as I need to sleep to like rejuvenate myself for my long days, my like school days, because I've been going to bed late reading and then like trying to wake up early and then like jumping straight into reading. It was just like my brain was just always working and going, and then I wasn't sleeping enough. So then like Thursday it just all caught up to me, and I literally just wanted to pass out my classes. In between my classes, when I could have read, I went to my mom's house and took a nap, okay, and then came home, took a nap, and like that was just all that I could mentally do. Like I literally tried to open up my Kindle. It was like burning my eyes, and that's how I knew. I was just like, okay, I can't do this, because then it's gonna ruin the experience of the book, and not even because I dislike the book, but just because I'm trying to read it when I'm in a miserable mood. I woke up today much rejuvenated. My class isn't until 2:15 today, so I was able to wake up at like 9:30. The amount of reading I got done yesterday was 3 hours and 42 minutes. The amount that I was supposed to get done for Thursday was 6 hours and 47 minutes. So I'm 3 hours under. My screen time for Friday last week was 2 hours and 34 minutes. I can't sell myself short, so I want to add on those extra 3 hours onto my Friday screen time. So technically for today, I want to read for 6 hours and 34 minutes. I completely forgot that audiobooks are a thing, and it was honestly like my saving grace yesterday, because I wanted to read yours truly, but I just really could not look at my Kindle. So I forgot that I have a credit for Audible, and I've been listening to it. I'm at chapter 12 right now on the audiobook. I don't know if this is cheating, but I don't care, because like physically I could not, and I'm still taking in the information of the book. And I have been having to, oh, my Kindle's over there. I've been having to like go back, because there's moments where I'm like listening and I'm like kicking my feet, giggling. Well, not kicking my feet. I have been giggling, because 𝐤𝐸𝐬𝐬, he is just adorable. Like he is just such a sensitive, sweet, soft boy. He's not a boy. He's like a 30-something-year-old man. He's just so soft and sensitive, and the anxiety representation of him in this book is really, I freaking washing machine, 1 second. Before he goes to a restaurant that he has to read the entire menu before, he has to know where he's gonna sit, like all of these things that just like feel very relatable. As someone that like feels like I struggle with social anxiety, I do similar things that he does. So like I see myself in 𝐤𝐸𝐬𝐬 wholeheartedly. If he wants to go to a bar, he has to know exactly what bar it is. He has to know like where he's gonna stand. Just like the anxiety that he has over communicating with people, especially our female main character, is so, it's just so relatable. It's just so relatable. Like saying the wrong thing and knowing you said the wrong thing. So then like knowing that you're gonna think about the fact that you said the wrong thing for the entire week. So you gotta like make sure you do something else to make sure you don't think about the fact that you said the wrong thing. Anxiety over like texting, and anxiety over like messaging, and like thinking about what you're gonna message somebody for like a solid 30 minutes. Like things like that I know pretty much not all of us, but like so many of us go through. Like not even people just with anxiety, but like the act of like texting your crush, reading over the message and like changing it and altering it. Texting, and then he said that he had written a message, it was a really short message, and he had written the word you, and then he was like, he went back and forth between switching it from the fully spelled out word you to just the letter U. Like why did I feel that in my soul? Why did I feel that in my soul? Because like how am I supposed to know what vibe I want to give? So I'm like gonna go back and forth and switch it. Like I love 𝐤𝐸𝐬𝐬's vibe. We're gonna jump right back into it, which I probably won't finish, and it'll probably have to bleed over till Saturday. But I will start my timer for 6 hours, right? Wait, 3 hours extra, and then it's 2 hours and 34 minutes. So yeah, 6 hours and 34 minutes, right? Am I? No! I was doing 3 times 2, not 3 plus 2. Okay, see, this is why I'm like writing major and not anything to do with math. I have, right, am I correct? 3 hours and then 2 hours and 34 minutes. 3 plus 2 is 5. 3 plus 2 is 5. 3 plus 2 is 5. So I have 5 hours and 34 minutes left. I just need to read you this one line because like, why is this so, like, I don't know how to describe it. I guess Jacob Maddox is kind of like insecure, anxiety ridden, like doesn't know his fullest potential type boy. And I love that in books because they're just, I don't know, like nerdy, geeky vibes, you know? It's just so cute. But he said, but what to say? What message would I send? Hey? Question mark? I couldn't send hey. It had to be something smart or funny, not hey. Like, babes, I feel you. Like, babes, I feel you. Because what do you mean I'm just supposed to send hey? Like, not a hi, not a hello? Like, what if they judge how intellectual I am based on my choice of not using hello? Instead, I used hey. Or should I put an emoji afterwards or an exclamation point? But doesn't an exclamation point make me seem too eager? Like, me and Jacob, we're twins. We're brothers. We're brothers and sisters. Okay, disregard my appearance. I had to come in here to update you guys that I finished the challenge. I had to let some of Friday's time bleed over into Saturday. So technically I like didn't follow the rules completely, but I did it as best as I could, and I feel like I'm still proud of myself for doing it like with my full school schedule and everything. Like I still completed 2 books in 1 week while like still doing school, which is big for me. But I also spent basically the entirety of Saturday reading because I wanted to make sure I finished Yours Truly by Abby Jimenez so I could give you guys my rating. And let's see, I've had time to think it over and I'm still kind of teeter-tottering, but I think my rating is teetering between 3.5 and 3.75. Like I feel like I'm leaning more towards 3.75 because the book didn't entirely put me off. Like it didn't leave like a bad taste in my mouth. I wasn't like completely put off by it, and I think I really enjoyed Jacob Maddox. Jacob Maddox as a character is just so amazing. Like he is sweet and kind, but the anxiety just makes he reminds me of 𝐫 Stilinski, and I love characters that remind me of 𝐫 Stilinski that are just so shy and introverted, but like also will literally do anything for the woman they love. Like it gave very much Styles and Lydia as Jacob and what was her name? Brianna. Like gave very much that vibe. So I was really just like continuing it just for Jacob Maddox. I did have a point in the middle of the book where I was getting annoyed because the female main character was kind of annoying me. And I know she was going through her stuff, like she was going through it, but I was just like, girl, just open your mouth, like just speak, like just tell him, you know? So there was a little bit of miscommunication for like a few chapters that was kind of just grinding my gears because I was like, okay, like with these like few chapters could have just been like deleted if one of them just communicated. And we know how we feel about miscommunication. I just don't like it. But they ended up communicating at a certain point in time. So I was like, okay, like it's not gonna be miscommunication throughout the whole book, which I've read a book like that and I was just like, no, I just can't do that. The middle kind of like lost me a little bit, and also the female main character kind of lost me a little bit because I was like, ugh, I don't know, she was just rubbing me the wrong way, and I felt like I cared about Jacob so much, and I felt like the female character was kind of just kicking him while he was down, and I was like, girl, like, do you really deserve this man? I don't know. I didn't connect with her as much, but I connected with Jacob and his anxiety. The anxiety representation was so good, and everything about Jacob just felt so relatable, and he felt like such a fully fleshed out human being that you kind of just want to protect. Like you just want to protect him with your whole soul. He's also like just so intentional, but it was just like so cute to see the way, like, you know, like instances where he's like thinking about what he's gonna wear because he knows he's gonna see her, and like he's like planning out his outfit and keeps switching it and planning out his outfit for hours. Like little things like that, so cute. So cute. I saw a TikTok of somebody saying that they didn't like the trope that happens like in this book a certain trope. I don't necessarily mind the trope. I think it was probably necessary for the conflict, but I'm just like, I still like, I just wasn't all there with the female main character, so it made it a little bit tough. But yeah, so overall 3.75. I would still really suggest and recommend this book. I think it's like it's very rom-com-y, and I'm realizing that there's like a difference between rom-com romance and like Wattpad romance, and I realize maybe my thing is like Wattpad romance, and I've just been picking up a lot of rom-com romances that just don't leave me as fulfilled, because I like, you know, a lot of angst and a lot of tension and a lot of like back and forth and banter, and they had a little bit of banter, but it was more like sweet and fluffy banter. Like it wasn't like banter that has me sweating, you know what I'm saying? Like it wasn't like that. So if you're really looking for like a nice, cute, fun rom-com vibe, would highly suggest it. And also if you're looking for just like an adorable male main character, would suggest this as well. But yeah, 3.75 is my rating. I'm literally looking at my shelf and I'm like, do I want to read from my physical TBR, or am I just going on my Kindle and buying something? I don't know. Comment down below what you think I should read next. Okay, because maybe I'm up for taking suggestions right now, because I just don't know where I'm at. I don't know where I'm at. I think I'm still wanting romance, but I just don't know what romance I want to dive into. So comment that down below, and also what you're reading. Okay, but if you're watching this on the day I upload it or in February, our book club book of the month for February. Wait, let me get it. Book of the month for February is Excuse Me While I Ugly Cry by 𝐤𝐤𝐧. So I have the links to our book club in my description. Follow the Instagram account, or follow or join the Fable group, which is like an app. But yeah, this is what we're reading for February. So if you're interested in reading Excuse Me While I Ugly Cry and joining us and talking about it, the links will be down below. So see you guys.